Good evening. You are all here for a special council meeting. It's May the 5th and it's 7 p.m. And tonight, during the special council meeting, there is no public comment, but there will be opportunities in the next meetings for public comment. Could we all stand? Ms. Gentry, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Rossmarin, please read the roll call.
Mr. Arnold.
Here.
Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Here.
Ms. Gentry.
Here.
Mr. Koss.
Here.
Mr. Shamir.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Zuber.
Here.
Mayor Spetzel.
Here.
Law Director Ebert.
Here.
Finance Director Crossy.
Here.
Public Works Director Litzkovic.
Here.
Thank you. The next item is a motion. Mr. Smith.
Thank you. At this time, I move to accept the resignation due to the retirement of Police Chief Vincent Molnar effective May 9th, 2025.
Any discussion, sir?
Yes, I'll turn it over to the mayor.
Thank you. Mr.
I am
Mayor.
going to withhold my comments until we have a recognition of the Police Chief Vincent Molnar. So I will wait till then. If I could, please. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Anyone
Mayor.
else? On council, any other? Mr. Smith. So, Ms. Rossmarin?
Ms. Gentry.
Yes.
Mr. Koss.
Yes.
Mr. Shamir.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Zuber.
Yes.
Mr. Arnold.
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Yes. Next point is legislation. Ordinance number 25-96. Ms. Rossmarin, read by title only.
An ordinance confirming the appointment of Caleb Robinson as police chief in the police department and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Smith?
Thank you. At this time, I move to suspend the rules of council requiring three readings to consider ordinance number 25-96.
Thank you. Mrs. Rossmarin?
Ms. Gentry.
Yes.
Mr. Koss.
Yes.
Mr. Shamir.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Zuber.
Yes.
Mr. Arnold.
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Thank you. At this time, I move for passage of ordinance number 2596 as an emergency measure.
In discussion?
Again, I'll pass this one over to the mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. So we're here to give the oath of office to Caleb Robinson, Police Chief here in Avon Lake. Caleb graduated from Kent State University in 2003 with a degree in political science. He was hired by Avon Lake Police Department in May of 2006. He began as a patrol officer until joining the Detective Bureau in 2014. Caleb was promoted to a sergeant in February of 2021 and was a patrol sergeant for 2 years. In May of 2023, he was promoted to lieutenant, and in this position has supervised the Detective Bureau and the patrol. Caleb has had several roles and duties in his career. He has served on the LCERT Crisis Negotiating Team, the U.S. Marshals Violent Fugitive Task Force. He has also served the department in the roles of Evidence Tech, FTO, Forensic Examiner, Healthcare Committee, and Grant Writing. He has served as leads TAC and administered the QRT team and the department's Ohio Collaborative and Project Lifesaver. Wow, is that all? Jeez. Thank you. I turn it back over to you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Yeah, I was able to swear the new chief in many years ago when I was law director, so I'm very happy for him at this moment. Otherwise, I have no other comments if anyone from council has any.
Anyone else from council? Mr. Smith, it's back to you.
I think I already moved to pass.
Anything else? Okay, thank you. Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll.
Ms. Gentry.
Yes.
Mr. Koss.
Yes.
Mr. Shamir.
Yes.
Mr. Zuber.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Arnold.
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Yes, thank you. Now we're at the swearing-in ceremony of Caleb Robinson.
Caleb, you want to come on up? Feel free to move around if you want to get pictures. It's all fine. Feel free. You need to get pictures.
Why is he looking at me?
Everybody good? Okay, you can repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Caleb Robinson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the laws and ordinances of the City of Avon Lake,
the laws and ordinances of the City of Avon Lake,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially discharge the duties
and impartially discharge the duties
of Police Chief
of Police Chief
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
during my continuance in said position.
during my continuance in said position.
Congratulations.
That's the best. Thank you.
Chief, did you want to get in a peek before and after here? Go ahead and get a picture.
I know.
Smile, Chief.
Which one? All right, well, don't go away yet, you got something to sign there, make it all official. I'm really looking forward to working with Caleb. I've had the pleasure of getting to know him a little bit more when we had leadership training, and known him for a while. He's going to do a great job. Big shoes to fill, just like when Chief O was here, big shoes to fill. But we find a way, and I think he's going to do a fantastic job. I really look forward to working with him. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Now we're at ordinance number 25-97. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only.
An ordinance confirming the appointment of Anthony Fabrizi as lieutenant in the police department and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Smith.
Thank you. At this time, I move to suspend the rules of council requiring 3 readings.
Mrs. Rossmarin, the roll.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Smith.
Thank. Come on up. Here you go. At this time, I move for passage of ordinance number 2597 as an emergency measure.
Any further discussion, sir?
Pardon me?
Any further discussion? We've already
Oh,
had a
no,
vote.
I defer to the chief. I defer to the mayor for this.
Thank you. Anthony Fabrizi is here to be sworn in as police lieutenant. Anthony Fabrizi was hired by the City of Avon Lake in July of 2016. He is a 2013 graduate of Kent State University. Anthony was promoted to sergeant in May of 2023 and assigned to the Detective Bureau Sergeant in August of 2024. Anthony is currently the Field Training Program Coordinator and Dispatch Supervisor. Since being hired, he has been assigned to the Honor Guard, the OVI Task Force, Lorain County SWAT, and the LSER team as a tactical team leader. Anthony scored the highest of the 3 candidates who passed the lieutenant's test, and we look forward to working with Anthony. I'll note, though, that when he was hired in 2016, obviously he's a fast riser, right? He's only been around for a few years, and he's already gained the position of lieutenant, so that's very impressive. Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Nothing further.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss,
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes. Thank you. This too has passed. Now we're going to have the swearing-in ceremony of Anthony Fabrizi, Lieutenant.
Anybody wants to get around for pictures?
Your family.
Take the time.
Your family.
You can come up, that's fine.
Are you sure? Okay.
Absolutely.
He's like anxious. He's like, I'm ready.
He's ready.
All he needs is his right hand to raise. Other than that, you're. Okay, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Anthony Fabrizi,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the laws and ordinances of the City of Avon Lake,
and the laws and ordinances of the City of Avon Lake,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties of lieutenant
discharge the duties of lieutenant
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
during my continuance in said position.
during my continuance in said position.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gio, help mommy. Yeah, help mommy. Mommy. Okay. Hold on. Okay, There we go. We can move it up here. No, I do it. There we go. It's okay, we'll get one. Yeah.
Get
Gio.
the pictures there, that's fine.
Gio, look at Titi. Gio says cheese. Gio, look, here's Mac.
Yeah.
I got Mac, look. Oh. It's hard.
You want to introduce your newest member?
Yeah.
The next one is SWAT, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He has an Avon Lake onesie on. Avon Lake Police.
This is little Enzo. He was born March 26th of 2025 this year. So he's a little over a month old.
Gio, look at Titi. Gio, look. I got Mac. I got Mac.
Good job. Yeah.
You and Dad up here, bro?
Let me take your picture.
There.
Unlock it. Unlock it.
That's all right.
Gio. Look, Mac. Look at us. Ready?
Almost. He's just living his best life.
Mac, or Gio, look. I got Mac. Look.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Come on, crazy boy. Let's go.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations to you too.
Yeah, honey.
He needs to sign, yeah.
Baby, go sit with Titi.
Somebody needs to post
Go
it.
sit with Titi. I'll take them.
Yeah.
I love it. Giovanni, yeah.
Oh, you have an end zone too?
Ice cream is coming.
Okay.
I'm gonna be trying to Okay, we have one more section here. Everybody stay. This is really important too. The next section is going to be the recognition of Police Chief Vince Monar I'm going to turn this over to Mayor Spetzel.
Thank you, Council President. I have the pleasure of kind of recognizing our current police chief, outgoing police chief, Vince Molnar. I first met Vince, I think we were both in the Bureau together many, many years ago, and I've gotten to know him much better, and I will tell you he's a consummate professional. Tell you a little bit about the chief. He's a proud 1994 graduate of Ohio Northern. His wife Trudy and him have been married for 30 years. They have 2 children, live here in Avon Lake. He was hired in 1995, promoted to sergeant in 2001, assigned to the Detective Bureau as Detective Sergeant from 2006 to 2013, promoted to lieutenant in 2013. Some of his accomplishments, which there are many, I tried to pare it down here a little bit. His goal was to leave Avon Lake as safe or safer than the way he found it. I will, without hesitation, say he has done that. He has done a tremendous job in that regard. Avon Lake has been the first community in Lorain County to hire a victim's advocate to meet the needs of our crime victims, one of his accomplishments. Another one was the formation of the Eastern Lorain County Emergency Response Team. The chief is very analytical, as we have found. We have that in common. He uses analytics to promote and establish crime reduction practices. I think the one thing that I am most impressed by, there's a lot, is his ability to navigate through all the changes that have occurred through the Avon Lake Police Department over his tenure as chief. During that time, he has hired 13 new police officers, which really is, almost 50% of the department. He's promoted 6 sergeants. He's promoted 4 lieutenants, hired 4 part-time police officers, hired 2 full-time dispatchers, hired 4 part-time dispatchers. He took very seriously his responsibility to provide a succession plan and when he knew he was going to be leaving. And I believe he excelled in this area through his foresight, planning, and leadership. I'm extremely impressed by the job he's done and the philosophy and the culture he has created in the police department. Not to be outdone, Caleb, I understand you have 8 retirements coming up in the next 5 years, so you might want to take some notes. All right? You did a great job. Just follow his lead. So I want to thank Chief Molnar for his nearly 30 years of dedicated and professional law enforcement services to the Avon Lake. And I have a proclamation I'd like to come up and read, if I may.
Please.
You gotta come over here with me, Chief.
I'll do it. For this help.
Okay. Whereas the ability of federal, state, and local governments to be responsive, innovative, and effective depends on the outstanding performance of dedicated public employees. Law enforcement agents play an essential role in the protection of lives and property. It continues to be one of the most dangerous jobs in America and throughout the world. And whereas Vincent Molnar has faithfully served the residents of Avon Lake as a member of the Avon Lake Police Department for over 29 years. Police chief since 2020, he has devoted countless hours improving the safety and well-being of the community and has provided sound experience and judgment while serving with professionalism and integrity. And whereas Chief Molnar majored in political science and criminal justice at Ohio Northern University, receiving a Bachelor of Arts degree in 1994. He graduated from Peels with top academic honors, is an active member of the State of Ohio Leads Committee, as well as being a tax supervisor with Leads, and has served on the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force Executive Board. And whereas during his tenure, Chief Molnar has been instrumental in the formation of the Eastern Lorain County Emergency Response Team, ELCERT, in partnership with cities of Avon and North Ridgeville, created the Unmanned Aerial System drone program in ALPD, and implemented the Flock LPR camera system throughout Avon Lake. His sound judgment was pivotal in establishing the victim advocate position in the police department. And whereas under Chief Molnar's leadership, Avon Lake has received numerous awards and recognitions. In 2025, the city was ranked 10th safest city in Ohio by SafeWise.com. In 2024, Avon Lake was recognized as one of the 30 best suburbs in Ohio by Money Inc. And in 2023, the community was named 16th safest city in the United States by Visual Capitalist. In addition, Avon Lake has received the AAA Community Traffic Safety Platinum Award for 3 consecutive years, 22, 23, and 24. And therefore, I, Mark A. Spetzel, Mayor of the City of Avon Lake, do hereby recognize and congratulate Vincent Molnar for his outstanding service to the Avon Lake Police Department and the community. We extend to him our deepest appreciation for all his dedicated work and wish him the best in all future endeavors. Congratulations. Now, don't go away yet. I have received other proclamations. I will not read these, because I know we all want to get out of here and go enjoy this day. I also received a proclamation from the United States House of Representatives, member Robert Latta. Thank you. And I've also received one from United States Senator Bernie Moreno. And then I also have one from Mr. Ohio Representative Joe Miller. And I'll let him present you that one.
Good to see you. Thank you, Representative. Absolutely. Good to be here. As a former councilman, when I saw this many people, it was either controversy or celebration. Glad to see it's celebration today. That's a much better time to be in council when there's less controversy. But I'm going to actually do two things. I'm going to bring up our new chief as well at the same time. And I have two commendations for my office, House of State Representatives, District 53. And you'll notice one's bigger than the other. 30 years, and you have some big shoes to fill. And incoming, because they're not sure yet if you're going to get there, right? Like, can you fill those shoes? But in all seriousness, I'm also like to congratulate Lieutenant Fabrizi. I would have a commendation for you. It's not because you went to Kent State and my undergrad is Bowling Green. It is because I left Columbus before I could get yours finished and got your information that you were going to be here tonight as well. So that's on my office fault. You got it coming. And beautiful kids. I'm wondering how many times you're saying step away from the cookie jar. But with that being said, I want to hand you your commendation for your years of service. And yes, yours as well. And I'd like to say thank you. We have such an amazing city. I'm so proud to represent it as your state representative for my last term here. And during that time, I've gotten to see a lot of amazing things between not just the police department, the safety service, the leadership here in this council, the mayor for sure, and everybody in the community and how they really support making sure that their community is safe and accessible. So I thank you. I appreciate you all giving me an opportunity to speak and congratulate you from my office as well. So let's do a picture, I guess, and we'll thank you. Oh, no, you're up here too. Congratulations. Come on in, come on in. I'm a good bookend, I promise. All right, congratulations, folks. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Right?
All right. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Madam President, I know we're going to have a little break in here. Is it okay if they take some pictures before?
If we could have just a moment, we're going to go through a formal adjournment, and then you can take as many pictures as you'd like. We'll have a quick break, all right? At this point in time, and House Representative Miller is absolutely right. This is a celebration. And it is not only a celebration for one family, but it's actually a celebration for three families and for all of Avon Lake. Thank you, sir. Mr. Cos, at this point, I need to have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. Mrs. Ross Mayor in the roll.
Ms. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Koss.
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Zuber?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Thank you. It is moved. Good evening. You are now with the work session, and following the work session, there's going to be a collective committee meeting of the City of Avon Lake. This is May 5th, and we are in council chambers, and we just had a celebration, and thank you for letting us have a break here. The work session, what's going to occur at the work session is that at the end of the work session, there will be a public input on the topic of the work session. Then we will move along to the collective committee meeting. So the very first thing we're going to do is I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Cos.
Thank you, Madam President. So tonight we have a discussion about House Bill 3, which is currently in the state legislature, and this is being referred to as the School Bus Safety Act. So this comes from a resolution that passed out of the Safety Committee a couple of months ago in support of this act. And there's a number of things that are included in this House bill that are going to make our students safer, our schools safer, our communities safer. And we have two speakers to discuss this here tonight. We're going to be first, it's going to be our state representative, Joe Miller, who's going to talk a little bit about the bill and where it is in the State House and the importance of it passing. And then we have our local expert on this, Dr. Rudy Breglia will be here as well too, and he's going to speak to a few of the components of it and kind of drill down on the need for some of these things to be implemented, funding to be available for, specifically with regards to seatbelts in the school buses, which he has done so much work with. So I would like to introduce Representative Miller first to come forward and kind of give us an overview and talk a little bit about House Bill 3.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller.
There we go. Well, thank you for having me once again, State Rep Joe Miller. It's good to be here. As we know, we're going to be talking about HB 3 and the appropriations that we're pushing through the State House at General Assembly with the hopes that somewhere in the end, we have a good investment in bus safety throughout all the communities in Ohio and creating an environment where they're going to be able to have some flexibility and access to some appropriations. One of the things, though, that since we have you here, and I know we're speaking a little bit to the community as well, those who are going to pay attention to it, I guess, it is a very difficult job to be a bus driver. I mean, these kids get on the bus, you've got different ages, they are challenged with not just getting them safely from the bus stop onto the bus into a seat, settled in, but then getting them from point A, B, C, D, kids going in and out at the same time, keeping that behavior level to something that is acceptable to be able to keep safe driving. Then throughout the routes, making sure that they provide the egress out of the bus in a safe fashion. A lot of times that's the kids crossing over. And we know that unfortunately, people have made decisions in their driving habits to move around buses because time seems to be more important than those kids' lives or safety. And we just have to not only message that that is unacceptable, that we need to be better, but that also we can do things and we can put in place and bring some opportunities for school districts and other bus entities to stop a lot of that flyby passing and to make sure that the buses are safe for the children that are going to ride them. So at the state level, we usually wait for the school districts to come to us and say, hey, we have a problem. Or a community comes to us and says we have a problem before we take action. That was happening. And this is the result of it. House Bill 3 is the result of many complaints. Now, I've spoken to the Highway Patrol, and they have, when notified that this is happening, have done a really nice job along with the sheriffs, and our new sheriff, Hall, has committed some of his deputies as well to get behind the bus and follow it on its route. And they have stated that they have already given out several tickets for this type of behavior. Sometimes that helps, but you know how it is. It's going to take more than that. I'm not here to speak on the seatbelt and the restraints and all the things that go into that. I'm going to let Rudy take care of that. But I think that bringing flexibility and bringing appropriations and bringing supports to our local communities is what the state should be doing. That's what I try to do in my role. I hope we're going to be effective in this manner. And if you don't have any questions, or if you do, I can answer them. But what I'm here to say is you do have a lot of bipartisan support. Not sure about by chamber. We'll see what happens over in the Senate. But in the House, it seems to be moving along with bipartisan support. And I think that's because children are not political. They're not. It's about safety. And that's what we're going to put our focus on. Really appreciate both sides of the aisle in the House come together on this issue. Hopefully that appropriation stays the amount it stays, and we get this to happen. So thank you very much for having me, and if there's no questions.
Are there any questions from council? Mr. Cos?
Yeah, just one.
Sure.
So it is currently in the State House. Can you walk us through the process of getting either a House bill or Senate bill passed? You mentioned that there's a alternative bill in the Senate. Can you just kind of walk us through how these bills proceed and eventually become law?
Great question. We'll do the Civics 101 as quick as we can, because I know that many of you are going to have a long evening after we're done here. But we have bills that usually you can either start in the House or the Senate. I believe there's a companion bill. I'm not sure if it started exactly the same in language. If it did, and they both get passed out of their respective chambers without any changes, it goes immediately to the governor. Rarely happens. Mm-hmm. Rarely happens. So if there's any amendments or changes to bills that are companion bills in both House and Senate, then they have to be reconciled in conference committee. Goes back to each chamber. Usually it's an up or down vote, and then either goes to the governor or gets or it fails. Most likely it's going to go from conference committee back to the floor of each chamber. It's most likely going to pass. And then it's up to the governor to decide if he wants to veto any aspect of that bill. Very good question. Right now, I'm going to assume that this will be in the governor's hands before this General Assembly is over.
Thank you.
Any further questions from our colleagues?
All right.
Thank you very
Thanks
much
for
for coming
having me
down
here today.
tonight.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it, Representative Miller. Mr. Cos, is back to you.
Yeah, thank you. And now I'd like to bring up Dr. Rudy Breglia. Rudy is a familiar face for his tireless work for school bus safety, in particular for seatbelts in school buses. So Rudy's going to talk a little bit about that component of this House bill, and also probably the bill in general. So I'd like to turn this over now to Dr. Breglia. I know he has a short presentation that he'd like to make.
Dr. Breglia.
Thank you, members of the council and the chairman of the Public Safety and Health. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My purpose today is to encourage the Avon Lake City Council to issue a resolution supporting seatbelts in school buses, and to advocate that the Avon Lake School District conduct another seatbelt pilot program with the requirement that seatbelts be worn by the children when available. The school district made a fundamental error by not requiring students to wear their seatbelts. I understand the difficult nature of this request for the council, but I also know that taking this step is important for the future safety of our children. And I am a little concerned about the wording of the resolution because it just mentions seatbelts in passing and doesn't talk about the recommendations from the NTSB, the Lorain County Commissioners, or the Ohio PTA. And I believe there are about 14 other authoritative safety groups that support seatbelts in school buses. Further, I recommend that the resolution support House Bill 3, and I believe it does, the School Bus Safety Act, that contains a $25 million grant program for the school bus safety equipment, including seatbelts. And I think that is the difference between the House and Senate bill. The Senate bill doesn't contain that $25 million grant program. Grants will allow school districts to equip their buses with seatbelts that provide direct and effective protection for children, as well as bus accessories that indirectly prevent crashes by making buses more noticeable and allow more stable
driving performance. Now, what I'd like to show you now is the video that demonstrates what happens in a simulation for when the students don't have seatbelts on. This was developed by, yeah, show it. There is no sound, there's loud music. So you can see the simulation of the bus rolling over. Now they're unbelted, and now you see what happens when, for two children, when they're unbelted and you have a crash, a rollover. Now you can see once the seatbelts are on, the kids may be shaken up a little bit, but they're not damaged. Now you watch the necks of the test dummies. The necks and the heads move in a way that God really didn't intend. The next 5 common sense points are critical to for the seatbelts in school buses issue. Number 1, wearing a seatbelt in a crash is a really good idea regardless of the vehicle that you're in. 2, current Ohio school bus safety features are inadequate to protect children fully. 3, seatbelts directly protect children. And once secured, the child will stay in their seat and not be ejected from the bus. Seatbelts should have a priority. The next serious school bus crash is not a question of if, but when. Right now, school districts and city councils are gambling that the next school bus crash will not involve their kids. I don't gamble if I can't afford to lose. There are 1,200 school bus crashes in Ohio every year. Seatbelts in school buses are a standard of care, or the degree of care which reasonably careful person should exercise under the same characteristics. Questions of negligence arise if appropriate action is not taken by that reasonable person to avoid foreseeable harm. The reasonable person could be school superintendents, boards of education, city councils. An example of a standard of care would be a school bus manufacturer that markets school buses with seatbelts after considering safety concerns, which is exactly what the Bluebird Corporation is doing now to avoid any defective product claims. In the U.S., 5 to 6 children, actually 10 in 2018, are routinely killed, and thousands are injured every year in school bus crashes. In Springfield, Ohio, on August 22nd, 2023, in school bus rollover, 11-year-old Aiden Clark, on his first day of class, was ejected from his bus and killed because he didn't have a seatbelt. The school bus driver was not seriously injured because he had a seatbelt, along with all other Ohio school bus drivers who have been required to have seatbelts since 1986 to keep them safe. The primary safety theory for school bus transport, compartmentalization or padded seatback theory, has only limited effectiveness and was considered incomplete in 1999 by the NTSB, one of the organizations that I recommend their recommendations be placed in the resolution. The basis for the theory is that seatbacks will absorb the impact energy of airborne children's bodies that are set in motion by crashes or sudden stops. Imagine a 40-pound child hitting the seatback in front of them with their faces at 30 miles an hour. This theory is crude and violent means of protection that is meant to minimize injuries but not prevent them. This flawed theory doesn't account for side crashes or rollovers where children have no protection from injury in a crash. Aiden Clark died in a rollover crash with this theory fully functioning as designed. Serious crashes will occur on our roadways regardless of the number of lights, signs, or mechanical accessories we put on or in our school bus to prevent crashes. Only seatbelts directly protect children, and only seatbelts would have saved Aiden Clark that day. I've assembled some of the existing substantial evidence that seatbelts in school buses are a standard of care. Number one, the benefits of seatbelts. Seatbelts are proven effective, low cost, widely recommended, required in every passenger car, required in some states and many cities. Beechwood, Ohio is included in that group. School districts, 18 in Indiana. Federal and state allowed in school bus specifications. Safety tested, behavior improvers, and seatbelts are basic safety tools when missing from a bus represent the most significant current school bus safety inadequacy. Some recent events that support standard of care. In 2024, the Bluebird Corporation, a major school bus manufacturer, made seatbelt standard equipment in all their new buses with no additional cost to their customers. Another manufacturer has recently, IC Bus, is now matching Bluebird's financial approach to including seatbelts at no additional cost. In 2024, Lorraine County Commissioners made a resolution advocating seatbelt pilot program in all Lorraine County school districts. Avon Lake, Vermillion, Sandusky, and Lorraine City have also issued similar resolutions. 2024, the Ohio School Bus Safety Working Group report. In that report, it's concluded that the governor is not going to mandate seatbelts in Ohio, but this was confusing since the report gives robust reasons for having seatbelts in school buses and only weak reasons for not mandating seatbelts, which doesn't make sense to me considering the failure to mandate conclusion. The next section deals with the vehicle passing violations. HB 3 contains serious deterrent pass provisions that are intended to substantially reduce the estimated 43 million passing violations per year, with 3 children killed every year as per a survey. The goal of this section is to dramatically increase driver recognition of the legal and children's injury consequences of stop-arm violations, and thereby promote future safe and law-abiding drivers. Conclusions. Since the standard of care status is established for lap shoulder seatbelts in school buses, knowledgeable boards of education, Ohio legislators, and local governments as responsible organizations need to take reasonable preventative measures with school buses. These measures should prevent foreseeable harm and avoid increased risk for unlimited compensatory damage awards for negligence in litigation from students and staff for injuries and fatalities following a crash under the Ohio Tort Liability Act. The installation of seatbelts is a substantial, recognized, and critical improvement to school bus safety and should be a priority for all of us. Seatbelts and fire extinguishers are absolutely needed precautions to avoid catastrophic loss. What I'd like to say to the public is my email address is rudybreglia@gmail.com. That's RUDY breglia@gmail.com. And I am available if you want to hear more about seatbelts in school buses, and you have any size group. I'll go anywhere, anytime. And any questions?
Thank you. Mr. Connors?
Yeah, I just have one question. Dr. Breglia, one of the concerns that we've heard about seatbelts on school buses is the implementation of it, getting the students to wear them. There's been some different talking points and data going back and forth. What have been your findings? What have you found as far as implementation of getting the students to actually put these on?
Okay, well, I'm glad you asked that question. At the November 2023 meeting of the governor's group, they brought in a experienced school bus driver who worked for a district in Indiana that had more than 100 school buses with seatbelts. And she talked about her experience with seatbelts and getting the kids to comply with the requirement to wear seatbelts. And this is what I mentioned before. This school district required seatbelts, the kids to wear the seatbelts that were present. And so that idea of requiring the use of the seatbelts was essential for the successful implementation of their policy or their program. So this school bus driver was wonderful. She talked about the tips that you could use, that a school district could use, that would help them have the program be successful. She would communicate directly with the parents. She'd have sign-off letters with children that were having a problem. But typically, she said, it would take about 3 weeks at the beginning of the school year to have the kids fully comply. And she was very calm, and she had a gentle tone with the kids. And one of her favorite expressions was, "Buckle up, Buttercup." And it demonstrated how nice a person she was. And so that's available on the product safety website. And I think I've sent that to all the members of your committee, and I could forward that on to the rest of the group. The school district, as far as school districts are concerned about implementation, is they're concerned about having, if you do implementation too quickly, where you put seatbelts in all the school buses, you'll have a big impact on any one budget year. So what they generally did, and they followed the trend that's active in the rest of the world, and that is to only put seatbelts in the new school bus, new replacement school buses, so that like Avon Lake replaces about 2 buses every year. So the cost would be not substantial to incorporate seatbelts into those 2 new buses. It adds about 8 to 10% onto the price of a new bus, but when you consider the cost for transporting a student is about $1,000, probably $1,100 per student per year. So the estimate for seatbelts is, over the lifetime of the bus, would be about $5 a student a year. So it's less than 0.5%. That was the kind of the approach that school districts that realized that they needed to put seatbelts in to protect their children. That's the approach that they took, and that was a good question. Anybody else?
Anybody else on council would like to have a question? Mr. Suber?
I just have more of a comment. I talked to Rudy before this, and I know, David, he's talked to you about some of those changes that he wants to see made in the resolution. So hopefully we can get those put together before next week. If not, I think that we could probably hold off and wait.
Yeah, I think just including the recommendations from the NTSB, from the Ohio PTA, and from the Lorain County Commissioners, I think that would be sufficient to show that, yes, there are other folks who are concerned about seatbelts at school buses, and give the school district, at least a flavor of the kinds of things that the council thinks are important.
Just,
Mr. Zuber, go on.
to me, this has always been a safety issue. I fully support it. I think it's, any kid nowadays has to be in a car seat, even up to the point of much older than in the past. To me, this is just a common sense safety issue. And I want to thank Rudy for being such a great advocate for this. This is something that ever since I've known you, you've talked about this endlessly. So.
Well, I'm totally committed. I think it doesn't make common sense. It's common sense that you have a seatbelt. If you don't have the seatbelt on, you're, as the test dummies showed you, children just fly out of their seats and are propelled to either hit the back of the seat in front of them, which is for those children are lucky, and if you have a rollover, all bets are off, and the child will just fly
Thank
through
you.
the bus.
Any other council people? Yes, Mrs. Gentry.
So my niece lives in New Jersey, and she was in a bus rollover accident. They have seat belts. No one was injured other than concussions. They all survived. So I very much support this.
New Jersey had a horrific accident 4 or 5 years ago, and up until that point they had just lap belts. But after that accident, within 2 months, the legislation came through that they all have lap shoulder belts. So, like the same ones that you have in every car.
Thank you. Mr. Shamir, I saw your hand up.
Dr. Breglia, I've got a question and a comment, if I may. So with bus companies effectively installing seatbelts in new buses, the transition as we upgrade buses, I think would be fairly easily done. Am I correct?
Right. The buses the seatbelts would not add to the expense of the bus, as long as you bought Bluebird buses or IC buses, at least right now. But I think because of the pressures of litigation and the seatbelts reaching the status of a standard of care, I think you'll see other companies doing the same thing. So what happens though is if you're a school district and you buy a Bluebird bus and you don't want the seatbelt, you have to sign off that no, we don't want those, and that might present a little bit of a problem.
Yes, if I may have
sir.
the follow-on. I guess the reason that they're installing those seatbelts is risk mitigation. And you, as a risk assessor, with your specialty in risk assessment, what would you say, in your professional opinion, of a rollout of a seatbelt on buses and how it would reduce potential accident-related deaths on buses?
Seatbelts are effective. They've saved hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives worldwide. And why we don't have them in school buses is a mystery to me. It's contrary to common sense. So I believe that, I've had a lot of experience dealing with lawyers in my job, and the idea is that this is a plaintiff attorney's dream. All this evidence that seatbelts are effective and certainly easy to install and we routinely have, about 5 children a year dying and thousands being injured. So the evidence is there, and I'm not the first to recognize this. You see, there's at least 15 organizations, two federal agencies that deal with school bus safety, the NTSB and the NHTSA, both recommend seatbelts in school buses, and all these other organizations. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, excellent questions. Any further questions from my colleagues to my left at all? Any comments? The comments I'd like to make, I've been supportive of it from the very day one.
Well, thank you.
And it's just so logical to me. And in talking to employees with the school system, there are drivers that are very concerned that they won't have time to go back and unbuckle everybody if there's an accident. And I'm going to take it back. I'm a grandmother of 8, right? And my grandkids that are in the back seat, whenever we're taking the other ones to school, the little ones can undo themselves really quickly. And we even have a little song and treats we give them when we teach them how to buckle into their car seats and to unbuckle. And if children can do this in their mom and dad and grandma's cars, I don't see why they can't do it on a school bus. To me, it's so logical. And plus, there's grants offered. Not only are the companies that you listed, which Avon Lake actually uses those buses. We have Bluebird buses in our fleet here. But there's also grant programs that are out there to assist during the transition. You've got the PTA, which are parent-driven. Plus, you have all the data that you have that are supporting this and wanting this. To me, this is just something that once it is in place, it then becomes a policy, and as an employee, a driver will then go forward with it. So once the policy is in place, as your example from Indiana, they accepted it, they took it as a directive, and they move forward with it. And once you do that, there's compliance and there's safety for the children. I thank you for coming here. Do you have any final words? I'm going to send it back down to Mr. Cos to finish up, to wrap up.
Well, as you say, our kids have the safety habit, and they know how to buckle and unbuckle their belts. And so in a crash, you want to have a seatbelt on if you're in a crash, because you'll be shaken up a little, but you won't be injured, you won't be disoriented. If you don't have a seatbelt on, you're going to just fly like the dummies did, and you'll be hurt, you'll be disoriented, you'll be injured, you won't be able to help yourself, you won't be able to help the kids, your classmates. So this is an argument that's it's a spurious argument, it's made all the time, but our kids have the safety habit, and they can get in and out, and it's no problem for them. And in an accident, they can help themselves get out of the bus. And I'm reminded, I saw that, and I'm sure we all did, this accident where the airliner turned over, the Delta airliner in Montreal, and there were all these people kind of upside down and hanging from their seatbelts. Well, I think they were all happy they had seatbelts on. They might have been inverted, hanging from them, but those seatbelts held, and the same ones that are in those airlines are in our buses. And I think there were 80 people who were hung upside down. They all survived. They might have had bumps and bruises, but they were all fine. And the same thing would happen in a school bus, God forbid, that something like that would happen.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for your dedication to this and staying with it. Mr. Cos, final words.
Yeah, I just want to wrap this up by saying that HB 3 has a lot of really good components into it, and we've heard a lot about that today. I'm happy to say that the city of Avon Lake was a leader in this some years ago, and that some of these components that are in HB 3 have already been implemented here in the city of Avon Lake. So people are watching this. They should know that we do have enhanced penalties for those that illegally pass school buses. When we passed it at the time, probably, 6 years ago or so, as far as I know, those were the toughest, highest penalties in the state. And we also had a mandatory minimum penalty as well, too, when we passed that. We also partnered with Avon Lake City Schools to split the cost to put cameras on all of our buses. So those are two of the main components of this bill that the city of Avon Lake, I'm proud to say, was a leader to do, and I'm happy that the state is now doing this for the rest of the state as well, too. So there are a lot of really good components. I'll just say these real quick, that it does establish that $25 million grant for schools to implement seatbelts if they so choose, and there's other items as well. You've heard about the importance of that. There's also, again, the enhanced penalties for the stop arm violations and illegal passing of school buses. There's funding for public awareness campaigns, and there's funding for school bus cameras. So there's a lot of really good things in this House bill, and I'm glad that we're going to be passing it by resolution. And per the comments here tonight, I will look to Mrs. Rossmarin to make any changes to the resolution to put some of those other endorsements and agencies that support some of the aspects of this bill as well, too. So, and I think that the mayor has his hand up, but other than that, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you, Rudy.
If you could stay, because we're going to go out to the public after Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, Dr. Bregler, I just want to thank you for coming. I appreciate your passion for keeping our kids safe and all the information you provided. You're the expert. I got nothing to add to what you said because you said it all. But I do appreciate you coming here, and I appreciate your persistence and dedication to this cause. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, and
Stay
bless
here.
you all.
Thank you. Stay here. We're going to go out to the public.
Yes.
Thank you. Anybody in the public would like to have a discussion item on, and some public input on this? You have 5 minutes on this topic. We have 4 people in the audience tonight. Going once? Going twice? Okay, thank you very much. Then at this point, we're going to close the public hearing, and we're going to open the collective committee meeting. The very first item on our collective committee meeting is Communications, Environmental, and Recreational Programming Committee. Chair Shamir?
Yes, we have the Simway Enterprise Cyber Risk Management Agreement, which I would like to recommend it being moved to next week's May 12th council meeting for the first reading. This is a contract that will begin on July 1st, 2025, and continue until June 30th, 2026. This is a renewal of an existing contract, and the value of this contract is $18,000 annually, or $1,500 per month.
Thank you. And sir, what is your intent for bringing a vote? 3 readings, 2, 1?
This will be a 3 readings.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Shamir? Okay. From here, at the collective committee meeting, I'm going to ask if there's any public input on this particular item. Okay. Seeing none, we're going to go on now to the Finance Committee. Mr. Zuber, your items.
The first item is the donation to Community Resource Services, CRS. We spoke about in the committee. I know we're going to have the director for CRS coming in next week to give us a presentation. What I'm asking is that it be put on for first reading next week and for passage in 3 weeks on the second reading. That's a donation of $25,000. A question was asked in the committee, and the finance director provided the information. We've given $25,000 to CRS every year since 2021. In 2020, we gave them $20,000, and in 2018 and 2019, we gave them $18,000.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Zuber from my colleagues? Okay, Mr. Zuber, you have a second item.
The second item is the Walker Road Phase 5 appropriation. We're going to be going out for bid shortly on the Walker Road Phase 5. The design work had to add a lot of storm water improvements. So we need to have an additional appropriation of $600,000 in order to cover that. So that will be on the agenda, I believe, probably next week for appropriation increase for that particular line item in the budget.
Thank you. And so your intent is how many readings?
I think we'd pass that on the first reading.
Okay, thank you. And this is also going to be discussed Wednesday at the Public Service Committee meeting, too. From the Finance Committee, are there any public input on the Finance Committee? Seeing none, we're going to move along now to legislation, the third reading. Resolution number 25-764. Mrs. Rossman, do you want to read by title only?
A resolution in support of House Bill 3, the School Bus Safety Act.
Mr. Cos, anything additional?
Just that I will consult with Dr. Breglia and Mr. Ebert and Mrs. Rossmarin to see if we can add that additional language in prior to the third reading, or whether or not we have to go through committee again. So I'll get that cleaned up.
Thank you very much. Any questions for our colleague? Okay, public, any comments on this particular one? All right.
Sure.
Yes?
I believe public input's at the end of the meeting.
Sir, you're right, it's on the agenda. According to 220.21, under B, collective committee meeting, number 1, it says, during a collective committee meeting, the presiding officer may allow audience participation during the course of a collective committee meeting. Such participation shall be limited to the issue then and there at hand, limited to 3 minutes. And we have it on our agenda at the end because
I would ask for public input to be waived till the end of the meeting.
I'm going to ask for the general consent of my colleagues. Do you want to limit it only to the end of the meeting? Yes, sir, Mr. Zuber? Anybody else? I see a yes, okay, down here. Okay, through
Yes.
general consent, then we're going to be limiting the public input to the end of the meeting. Okay, thank you. So we have the changes, and you'll be coming back to us, Mr. Cos, after your consultation with the law director.
I will do, thank you.
And
Yes, ma'am.
and Dr. Briglia and our clerk. Thank you. Ordinance number 25-77 by title only. Mrs. Rossmarin.
An ordinance amending emergency transport service fees in codified ordinance section 208.01 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Cos, anything additional?
No, just that this will be third reading for passage next week. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. From anybody else, colleagues? All right, then we're going to move on then to ordinance number 25-83. Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only.
An ordinance to rezone an 11.8627 acre site at the southeast corner of Walker Road and Avon Belden Road from single-family residence 1R-1A and general commerce B-2 to multifamily residence R3 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. I'm now the sponsor of it, and the only points that I wanted to bring out was that this is an R1A and not an R1. Therefore, it's 12,000 square feet per acre, not 15,000 square feet per acre. And we will have more discussion at the committee meeting next week. Any further discussion from my colleagues? Okay, we're going to move on now to the second readings. Ordinance number 25-86, Mrs. Rossmarin, read by title only.
An ordinance adopting a job description for the position of professional engineer in Avon Lake Regional Water and establishing the qualifications and duties for said position.
Mr. Smith, any additional?
Thank you. Yeah, these are 25, 86, 87, and 88 are all job descriptions that are coming over from the Utilities Department for some positions that they are changing some job descriptions for. And those job descriptions are for professional engineer, senior professional engineer, and business development director. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we've just described ordinance number 25-87, which you just talked about, which is the position of senior professional engineer. And like you said, ordinance number 25-88 is the position of Business Development Director. And sir, we're going to go right to the next one in just a moment. Ordinance number 25-89. This is Rosemary, read by title only.
An ordinance fixing compensation for Avon Lake Regional Water non-bargaining positions, repealing ordinance number 23-193, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Smith, any further comments?
This is setting the pay ranges for various positions at the Utilities Department, including the ones in 86, 87, and 88. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments for this particular piece of legislation? All right, at this point in time, we're going to open it up to public input, 5 minutes on any topic.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, under first readings, I do have a first reading I want to bring to the council's attention, and that is civil service today, and this will be coming through our HR department next Monday through the committee meeting. The civil service today approved the appointment of a Thomas Jarrett to a firefighter position that the chief would like to have filled as soon as possible. So I wanted to bring it up here today, so then it comes through HR, and then we'll be having it as a first reading and emergency measure next Monday.
Okay, and do you have a date when it will start? The
I
position
think
will
they
start?
want him to start the 13th.
Okay, May 13th, that'd be Tuesday. Thank you, sir, for bringing that forward. Any comments on this particular one from my colleagues? Any other one? Any other first reads that could need to be added on this? All right, we're going to move along now. We're going to open it up to public input. 5 minutes on any topic. Come forward and give us your name and the city that you're from. Thank you.
Gerald Phillips, Avon Lake. I'd like to know the actual vote on that motion to eliminate public comment. I saw Mr. Costhead kind of shake, and obviously Mr. Zuber, but I'm not sure what the other people did. So, because I want to know which people on council don't like public participation. I want to know. So we're going to get a vote, or are we just going to hide behind our cloth of our, behind the, council thing? We're going to be in silence? Nobody wants to speak up? At least I know the council president wants it, because she took it upon herself to ask. And the first 4 items, we didn't have any comment. So we're going to get a vote or not?
So this was not a vote. This is through general consent.
Well, I
And
didn't see a majority.
Sir, you asked, and I will answer. When I looked to my left, I saw a head shake to all my colleagues to my left. When I went to my right, I saw a head shake on all my colleagues to the right. That's general consent, sir. It's not a vote by name or roll call.
Are you in favor of that, Mr. Shamir?
Well, I was not, but
All
it's
right.
not.
Well, let's talk about the zoning item. We got 3 codified ordinance sections that it doesn't comply with. Mr. Smith pointed 121805A1 it has to and should comply with the comprehensive plan. It doesn't. 121804D, maximum of 40% has to be residential and mixed use. And street frontage, you don't have residential. And this doesn't conform to the town focus plan. Does it? We're rezoning land to the east, almost 8 acres, that wasn't in the focus area. And we're providing not mixed commercial on the 4 intersections, as I quoted in the plan. And the town focus plan indicated that the central area should be the green space, and on the perimeter should be the residential, not in the middle. So it doesn't conform to this plan, And I know Zach Arnold already said he's going to vote for it. He obviously doesn't care about this plan, all right? And Mr. Zuber's going to vote for the zoning, and you are, okay? Because I know how you're going to vote based on your questions. So hopefully the 4 of remaining people will vote no. You got a comprehensive land plan. Rezoning this is spot zoning. That's why you have a comprehensive plan, because it covers the whole community. And it's supposed to be based on what's coordinated among the whole community, not just an isolated area. You know, I hear how Pulte, they're great neighbors, all right? Well, they cut down trees for Hanford, and they knew that they weren't supposed to cut them. And they didn't take up my offer to contribute $50,000 for the traffic mess that they did. So then they misrepresented to this body that the maximum they could put was 104. When I ran numbers, it was 54. And their traffic study, okay, is flawed. It doesn't have actually current situations and the subsequent impact, and it's not comprehensive in a sense. It doesn't cover the whole town focus area of the town center and the build out. We're going to have another problem like we have in the southeast quadrant when we approve piecemeal each one of those developments for Bucky, Koff, and Pulte. They're only looking at their development and the one across the street. What about the build out? Because what's going to happen is you're going to have a traffic nightmare that's worse than it is now. We know it's the worst intersection. We got cameras there that we're spending money on. So we're going to create another traffic mess? And I don't know how we got a traffic person to review that. We had an ordinance to approve the traffic company for the southeast. I didn't see an ordinance approving them to review Pulte's study. So how did that come about?
Thank you, sir, for your input. Anybody else want to talk about any topic? Come forward.
Before I begin, I'd like to play a video from my thumbnail drive.
No, sir.
William Zimmerman, concerned citizen. So I commend the council president for attempting to go back to the way we used to do things at this meeting and allowing the public to have a time to speak. I think that it was poorly handled after that, since Mr. Zuber jumped in right when we were getting to the topics that we would have liked to have spoken about. But nobody will ever know that because we were cut off by general consent, which I don't believe should have been done. Should have taken a roll call vote. So earlier we were talking about accepting the Chief Monar's resignation. I've had several run-ins with the chief. I've described some of these issues to you before. Chief and I had a meeting. I showed up for it. He had a lieutenant take me off to the side. Said, "Oh, the chief's on vacation. I'm going to take the meeting." We stayed 10 minutes. We left. I called back to the police station, asked to speak to the chief. Chief answered the phone in his office. Came back, had a meeting with him then. I'm sorry, Mr. Zuber.
Please speak.
He said something. I'd like to know what he said.
Mr. Zuber, try to contain yourself.
He is out of order, just like earlier.
You're over talking me. I've asked him to please contain himself. Go ahead, sir.
Guys don't even abide by the rule. The rule of law. It's really getting bad. That's a prime example right there. So the chief and I have our conversation. We leave, everything. Chief goes with our law director to go see the prosecutor in Lorain County. I believe they went to draw favor for not the victim, but for the perpetrators of the crime. How is that just? Is he worried about an investigation on himself and his department? Because there should be one on the police department. I've asked again for records, done a records request. It's now been over 3 weeks. I still don't have an answer. Lieutenant Tibbetts doesn't do his job. The chief oversees Mr. Tibbetts and doesn't do his job. They're derelict in their duties. I'm a citizen of the city. Should be easy to fulfill my request. I make them, I don't have any problems. I do everything I'm supposed to do, they don't. Mr. Arnold and I had a conversation one time. He said he had a meeting with the chief, who had been trying to get a meeting with him for days. He gave me a ride home once, and the next day the chief calls. Now, I don't know what their conversation was about, but he tells me about a part of it. He tells me about the fact that the detective who's interviewing the victim victimizes her so badly that he says, shouldn't something have been done to the chief? Somebody should have been held accountable. They weren't. This chief doesn't do his job. Everybody wants to give him the great, hey, attaboy. Get the hell out of town is what I say. Now, as far as the land usage, Mr. Phillips is correct. This doesn't meet with our requirements up there on the south side of 83 and Walker. This development should never be able to advance. Pulte is a builder of many places in our city. There's no way they should be able to circumvent the rules to build another development. Chief also hired an advocate. I talked about this at a ward meeting once. She's supposed to help the rape victim. Chief never told her about the rape victim. He dropped the ball. He didn't care about the citizen of the city. It's a great thing to have the only advocate in the county. But if you don't use it properly, it's nothing more than a waste of time. Need to keep him under control.
Anybody else want to come forward on any topic? Seeing no one coming forward, we will now adjourn the meeting. Thank you. Yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Zuber, I didn't see your hand. I just a second, please. I didn't see his hand. It was my error.
Robert's rules.
Sir, you're out of line.
Thank you.
Mr. Zuber,
I
I
believe
didn't see
it,
your hand. I'm awfully sorry.
just to, I believe the person that Mr. Zimmerman talked to was a sergeant, not a lieutenant,
Thank you.
prior to the chief.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Ms. Gentry.
When was that advocate hired?
About 2 years ago.
A couple of years ago.
Valerie can find the legislation.
Yeah, I think it was just last year she was hired.
I think it was in January of '24.
You were first on council is when she was brought in, I thought.
That's what I thought as well.
Okay, we'll get back to you, Ms. Gentry, and we'll let the public know. Anybody else on this topic? Okay, thank you. At this point, we are going to adjourn the meeting. It is 8:30. Thank you for coming this evening.